All right, we in another week of Keshawn's Hometown Heroes. We got Fairfield's own Jason Verrett. I wish he was still in the Bay, but he's living in San Diego now. How you been?
I've been good, bro. Appreciate you having me.
No problem. So let's start from the very beginning. I hear that you went to Rodriguez High School back in the day. Not really a powerhouse, but you still found a way to get to the next level. Let's take it back to all in the beginning when you started playing ball. Like, where did you start at, and how did you end up at Rodriguez, and why did you choose that school out of all the schools in Fairfield?
Yeah, so I started Pop Warner in Fairfield, played for the Falcons, did that all the way up until high school. I really only went to Rod because older brother went there. I would have ideally wanted to go to Fairfield High, like primarily where all like my partners is that I played Pop Warner went to school at, but went out with Rod. Um, And yeah, went there, played primarily receiver and running back. And then yeah, didn't have no scholarship out of high school. And then went the JUCO route from there.
Obviously, California is known to having a bunch of JUCOs, but you chose Santa Rosa Junior College, and I hear that you actually created a wave where when you went there and did your thing, you're one and done. Went to the Big 12, and then you created, a pathway for other players behind you to follow that path. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so at high school, we had a coach that tried to come on like an internship or something like that to come be part of the staff. He was only there for like 2 weeks. And while he was there, he noticed like me, the quarterback, and on one of our receivers that, we had talent. So it's like, yeah, man, they not gonna hire me here, but y'all take my contact, whatever. Um, and if y'all don't get no scholarships, man, it's a JUCO that I could send y'all, take y'all over to, and they put players out. So fast forward, I did my thing, my senior year. But yeah, luckily didn't, I mean, not luckily, but didn't have no scholarships. So I still hit him up, let him know, he took us down over there to Santa Rosa, met the coaches and everything. And they just straight up pretty much told us like it was 100% guarantee you were gonna get a scholarship. Like no matter if it was D1, D2, whatever. So my whole thing was just like, I'm gonna just try to get there to get a scholarly to keep playing. So fast forward, get there, and the whole time in the spring, I'm at receiver. So I'm just doing all receiver work, kick return, punt return, doing that. And the coaches pulled me to the side, like, yo, man, you only 5'10, and I was only like a buck 75. Like, they're not giving scholarships to players your size and your height at that position playing receiver. So you might want to think about coming over to the dark side. So I'm like, man, call my brother. I'm like, man, bro, do I want to play on this side? Like, I like scoring. You know what I mean? So they like, man, but how dope would it be to shut somebody else down from scoring? So I go in the summertime training. Now I'm playing like both. And I kind of ain't really, I played corner in high school, but we wasn't really coached like that in that aspect of really, we wasn't doing individual drills. We wasn't watching no film. Like I didn't even have a football field until my junior and senior year at my high school. So we played at a rival high school, and that was our home turf my sophomore year and my freshman year. Anyway, so getting there and kind of like starting to learn corner, because we really only played cover 1, 2, and 3. You know what I mean? So I was kind of really just doing everything off athleticism. And so I ended up gray shirting. And I didn't want to go to school in California. So I gray shirted and took a whole bunch of out of state courses. And so, because to go to school in California, you would have had to do the 2 years at JUCO because there was certain classes that you had to take, and it would have had to take 2 years to do that. And so at that school, it's only me and one other player in the history of the school that ever did 1 year and done. So I was telling my coaches that, like, man, I'm gonna be able to get up out of here. They was like, the chances of that is kind of slim. I'm like, man, I'm gonna do it. And so fast forward, man, yeah, balled out in that year and then had tons of offers and ended up rocking out with TCU. They was ranked number 3 in the country at the time, just won the Rose Bowl. So yeah, I ended up rocking out with them.
You were All-American at Santa Rosa. You go to TCU. Did things come easy for you when you first got there, or?
No. Yeah, no. So damn. All right. Um, so my first game, bro. Baylor Bears, RG3, Kendall Wright, well, Terrence Williams, all them boys was there. So that was the first game, Friday night lights, 7 p.m., prime time. ESPN and TCU coming off the Rose Bowl. So we was ranked like I think like 6 or 7 in the country going into that game. And Baylor, I think they was top in the country as well. Yeah, bro, I'm hyped. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I'm hyped, family hype. Boom. I did my thing in training camp and all I'm like ready to rock out. So I'm gonna tell you a true story, brother. And this was the last time I ever in my life wore white gloves. I wore white gloves in that game, pre-game. Went out there, and I was on kick return, punt return, just catching, boom, boom. Went out there, white gloves, wristbands on, all. Bro, I got cooked, bro. So we go out there, they and it's packed, like packed. And this is a rival, Baylor and TCU. This is a rival, Texas rival. So it's packed out. And so we get out there, boom, opening possession. I just remember, bro, Kendall Wright coming out the huddle. He's like, we got fresh meat. We got fresh meat, right? So I'm a little, yeah, I mean, I'm in my zone, but I'm a little nervous at the same time. Man, bro came out, whoo, quick little out route, boom. All right, 2nd and 5. But as a corner, even though let's just say you give up a hitch, you give up a slant, it was 1 for 5 yards, 1 for 2 yards, and now it's 3rd and 3. But as a corner, oh, boy, you got the beam on you. You know what I mean? So, boom, they throw it, catch a little out route, 5 yards, go to the next possession, catch, I think, caught another little hitch, ran the ball, bomb, 55-yarder, touchdown. Now I'm on the sideline. I'm like, eyes big as hell, bro, because it's like, oh. And at JUCO, I only gave up 1 tub, like at JUCO. So I wasn't really like at JUCO, I kind of strapped. So this was like my first time even playing on national television. And it's like, oh, I'll get bombed. Everybody tapping me like, bro, you straight, you straight. Ooh, we good, we good. All offense, go down there and score. We back up. Kendall Wright come out barking again. We got fresh meat, fresh meat. Bro, throw another little route. He catch it. Boom. Possession goes. So we was in a quarters coverage, right? And we used to call it was blue coverage, but we'll have a keep call. So what that means is like, because normally in quarters coverage is 2 is quick, the corner's quick. If 2 slow, the corner's slow, right? You're reading 2-1. But when you get a keep call, it's lock on 1, safety lock on 2. But I'm zoned out. I ain't hear that part. I just heard blue. So they threw a bubble, right? Both me and the safety haul ass to the bubble. It's a bubble pass. Throw it to my dude. Touchdown. So I'm on the sideline. I'm like, bro, like, everybody like, bro, you straight, you straight, you straight. Woo, woo. Coach, come on. Like, you down. Like, you down this next possession. Our offense go and score. It's 14-14. Corner go out there, make a little plays, whatever. Next thing you know, bomb. It was the senior, the other corner. He gets scored on. So I ain't gonna hold you when that happened. I'm like, man, like I'm kind of cool a little bit. Like everybody kind of get cooked right now, right? Boom. The next corner again, same thing. Bomb. Bro, you back up. Get back out there. Kendall, post route. Catch it. Miss the tackle. Touchdown. Like a minute or 45 seconds left. Tried to make some threw a pick. Game over. They rushed the field, whole 9 yards. So this one I just got a Twitter. I mean, I had a Facebook, but I got rid of Facebook. I just got a Twitter. Bro, I get to my phone, bro. Send the to JUCO. He trash. Get him out of here. Woo. I'm seeing all of that, and I'm like, oh, shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. I call my family, or my family calling, crying on the bus, and all the whoop. But I get around going to class. Like, bro, you suck, man. It's Baylor, bro. What's going on, man? Woo, 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 woo. And now I'm kind of like, damn, like this what it come with. You know what I mean? So fast forward from there, we got the second game against Air Force, right? And we spanking them. Air Force, it's probably like, I don't know, I'd just say like 28-6 or something. And it's 2 minutes left in the game. So I ain't played nothing. It's 2 minutes left in the game. I was number 2. Coach come by the sideline. Hey, y'all down, y'all down. Hey, 2, you up. Man, you got me, coach. Like, Bro, ain't no way I'm finna go in this game. Hey, two, you in the game. And all right, go out there, bro. First play, I'm in there. I get a PI. They throw at me, get a PI. So now I'm still like in that mode of like, damn, I got this beam on me. So next possession, they do whatever. We still win the game. Obviously, boom, I get out of it. But that was my only couple plays that I put out there. So now going into the third week, it's Wednesday, and everybody leaving the dorms. And this one thing I would say though, even though what I was dealing with players, I mean not players, but people around campus and all over the media, whatever, my teammates were still like, bro, we rocking, like, you know what I mean? So that's one thing I would say that I with for sure. But we leaving the dorms and we headed down to practice. It was like 2:50, meetings was at 3:05. So everybody, we walking down to the locker room. I turn around, went right back to the dorm, and I'm like, bro, I'm done. Like, I can't deal with this. Whoop, I just get to crying, like hot, just with everything going on. Like, bro, I'm done. Like, I want to go back to JUCO. Like, I'm trying to transfer, whole 9 yards. So I called my brother, and we just kind of like over on the phone, like crying. I'm letting everything out, and he's like, bro, you gotta like do something. I'm like, yeah, going back and forth. Mind you, that phone call is one thing. You hang up, you back in reality what you got to deal with. So I get off that phone. I'm still on, man. My phone is blowing up. Coaches calling me, teammates calling me, the like assistants in the buildings and stuff is calling, and I'm not answering nothing. So I did see a text of one of the ladies like saying like, "Hey, I'm coming to your dorm. I don't know how you finna get in here. Like, man, I locked the door, whatever. Like, I ain't doing nothing." So the door to my dorm opens, and then it's a knock at my door. Jason, you in there? You in there? Jason, are you in there? Please, I need to make sure you're okay. So I go and open the door. She see that I've been crying, whatever. So she hugged me like, "Oh, you okay? We worried, blah, blah, blah." Coach P just want to make sure you good. Like, we ain't know where you's at, yada, yada. So I'm like, yeah, man, well, I'm through. Like, I'm cool, blah, blah, blah. Well, you need to go talk to coach. Like, I mean, so she take me down there. And brother, that turned me into a man. Simple conversation, bro. Step in the Coach P office. He's sitting there, sit down. First thing he says, "What you want to do?" So I say to him, like, looking down, like, "Man, I just want to leave." Like, "So what do you want to do?" "I don't know. I'll probably go back to JUCO." And my recruiting coach was at Texas Tech. So I was like, "I don't know. I might go to Texas Tech." Because I'm gonna tell you just like this: you ain't going to JUCO. You're not going Division 1. You're not going Division 2. I might let you go Division 3. But either you got two choices. You can stay here and become the player that I know you could become, or you're gonna go to D2 or D3. What you want to do? Straight like that. And I'm like, "I'm gonna stay." And he goes, "All right, well, I'm gonna see you at practice tomorrow." And that right there was why, and I still got a good relationship to him to this day. But I leave there, go to the dorm next day, go to practice, get to the game, obviously don't start. Our corner get beat right before halftime, got beat on a bomb, touchdown. We was playing Louisiana Monroe. We in the locker room, coach like, "Two, you up." I go out the second half, a little nervous, make a PBU, another PBU, and it was up. It was up from there. End up balling the rest of the season, got like 2, 3 interceptions, end up being honorable mention at the end of the year. So that was how my first year shook up for me for sure. A lot of early adversity, I'll say that for sure.
University obviously molded you to who you are, and now you're going to your, I believe, your junior year, right?
Yeah.
That's the year you became an All-American. But what do you think was the game that really put you on the map for NFL scouts to say like, oh, he can play at the next level?
For sure throughout my whole junior year, I kind of put that type of film out there that I was ready, especially just with the matchups that I was having. But I'll for sure say that Thanksgiving night against Texas, and it wasn't more so the receivers that I was playing on Texas. It was mainly it's Texas, it's the Longhorns, it's legendary school, you know. and I balled out. I got a pick in I think it was the third play of the game, and 3, 4 PBUs throughout the game. We ended up being player of the game. So I think that was the game that I felt not only showed scouts, but even showed me.
Were you confident that you'll be drafted in the first round, or that surprised you a little bit?
Nah, I for sure was confident that I was going to be drafted first round for sure.
So then you obviously get drafted to the at the time the San Diego Chargers, but you grew up a Raiders fan.
Mhm.
Man, what was it like when you came back home? When it was, let's say home, quote unquote. You came back to the Bay. You played at the Coliseum, a stadium you probably grew up going to all your life, having family members come through all the time as well. Because I think there's a game that me and you both remember when you got your first interception. It was against the Raiders.
Yeah, so nah, it was dope. I had probably because like I grew up in Fairfield, but half my family's from Oakland. So I had about 75, 80 people at that game. My brother worked for the Raiders at the time too. Um, So yeah, our family was thick in there for sure. But nah, just being in that Coliseum growing up, and I was a big Charles Woodson fan growing up. I mean, everybody was that was from the Bay, but big Charles Woodson fan growing up. So just being able to be in that stadium, once being in the stands, but being on the field, had my family come out on the field pregame, took a picture, just soaking it all in. And then I was, with the whole black hole, whole 9 yards. So that was just like a feeling that, you can't really explain. You got to really just be in there to kind of know. But uh, game on the line, I think we was up 31-28, something like that. Might have been like a minute and a half. They had, I think, one or two times, one time out, whatever. And it was a sluggo, slant and go route, boom. And yeah, right down the right side of the sideline, threw it up, out jumped him, got it, put my hand in the air. My dog over there had all on my helmet and stuff. And I get up, I'm celebrating running, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, like, you know what I mean? I'm really trying to process everything that had just happened and boom, in the game, get to my old family, my mom crying, pops crying, brother, family, everybody was there. So yeah, that was a priceless moment, bro, that I still got the pick right there.
That's the play. That's the play. When it comes to you and your career, you'll probably disagree. Smiles might not agree. I think the game where I was like, I knew who you was Monday Night Football when you played against Antonio Brown and Pittsburgh Steelers, and you locked them up. I mean, listen, they won the game, but as far as the matchup, check YouTube. We'll have the clip shown. You won that matchup. Were you confident going into it that you could lock him up, or was that a little, had a little nerves? Like, man, this is Antonio Brown. Like, what was the experience like guarding him throughout the whole game?
I knew in that game it was going to be one of them ones because obviously you know the history of how AB, what he did statistically week in and week out. But that was the only receiver that I faced that I saw literally, bro, jog out the huddle. Like every play, jogs out the huddle, do this with his hands. And I thought that was just dope because he give you the illusion that he finna get the ball. So every play, I'm locked in, like locked in heavy. So now that was for sure definitely one of my favorite games that I thought that I performed, but just a game of just being able to go against, obviously one going down is probably one of the greatest receivers to ever play and had that kind of game against him is for sure legendary.
We get into your later years where, I think it was 2016 when you kind of went through your first injury because you never had dealt with injuries before, correct? Like before you got to NFL?
In college, nah.
Damn. So, uh, what happened? And when that happened, were you surprised that that was going to be your last year as a Charger before you went to the Niners?
Nah, I chose to leave. The Chargers didn't want me to leave, but because it's 2016 ACL, 17 another major knee surgery, 18 my Achilles. I just felt a new scenery would have probably been best for me. So that was the only reason why I was leaving. Chargers was gonna re-sign me. It was just me like, damn, bro, I don't know what was going on. You know what I mean? On why these things was happening. So that was the only reason why I went to San Francisco. I feel just simple and plain. If I ain't had them injuries, yeah, I think the sky would have been the limit from multiple contracts, multiple Pro Bowls, multiple All Pros. I think that would have been evident that I would have accomplished those things.
Became a Niner. Obviously, first top of your head, you like, oh, okay, I'm coming back home. But it's like you come from a family with the black and silver. Was your family
Yeah.
happy? Were they mad? Like, what was the reaction from them?
I got partners, close friends too, that's Niner fans, you know what I mean? But half of my family and half the friends, they Raider fans. So of course it was like, oh, bro, you tripping. Like, you know what I mean? I definitely got that for sure. But then on the other end, it's like, at least you home, at least we could slide to all the games. But oh yeah, for sure was like, bro, you a Niner? I'm not, my people though, they ain't buy no Niner jersey though.
Oh my God.
Well, nah, that's out. And they was already on. If we going to a game, we gonna wear black. We ain't wearing no red jersey. Nah, that wasn't gonna happen.
Get to the Niners, you know, in a great organization with Kyle and John and them, and then you was actually at the beginning point when the Niners started getting really good. You saw that coming, or were you a bit surprised at how great they became because they went on to go to multiple NFC championships and two Super Bowls after that?
Yeah, nah, the culture just there, just as a whole, is one of the best, I think, in the league. Kyle and John, I got crazy love for them for sure. But now it was just the way that the team was, like the locker room, and just way that the whole culture is built as a whole. Everybody has the mentality of wanting to win. Like it's not, as they say, you're only good as your twos and threes. Everybody there is on the same page. So that's why when you see the injuries happen over there, nobody really skip a beat. The next man up mentality is real. And they getting in there and they filling in and they doing their thing.
And you obviously one of the premier cornerbacks when it comes to footwork. The hot topic that's going on right now around the world is T-step, bicycle kick, bicycle step. What is your take on it? And for people that don't know, watch this clip. It's with Deion Sanders talking to Bucky Brooks on NFL Network.
Let me teach you real quick how stupid the T-step is. I'm going to teach you real. Now, Bucky, you're going to help me. Okay. We're going to walk backwards, then we're going to walk forward. Let's walk backwards.
Okay, we're walking backwards.
Now let's stop and walk forward. Why didn't you T-step? Why didn't you T-step? Okay, let me show you how stupid that is. Look, I'm going to walk backwards.
Yep.
Then I'm going to walk forward. Whoa. Who does that? What fool does that? What idiot does that?
After that, Asante Samuel came in and responded on Twitter.
If you're not T-breaking, you're not getting to the ball faster than anybody else. That's T-breaking. You're probably coming up an inch short because it's a game of inches. T-break is known for a fact the fastest way to break to the ball.
So now that y'all seen this video, I'm asking Jason, what are you more, of a bicycle guy or a T-step guy?
I'm going to say two things, right? I feel if you got feet work, and when corners that know what I mean, when you got feet work, you could break any direction, any given moment, right? And I was one of them that was able to do that. If I'm training, I'm going to train with the T-step. I'm not going to train bicycle. I'm going to train with the T-step because, one, that's working on your explosion of being able to get out of the break and go. Now, when you got that explosion and within your feet work, yeah, you might have a couple times you might be in the back pedal. You might not have the best break of getting out on that T-step. So that bicycle might happen whether you breaking on that curl route. But because you got that explosion, your feet really like that, you might have to boom, 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 and get out of it. I feel with the T-step though, and to Asante is, I think he's more so referencing to route recognition, because that was one of the things that I would say that you could tell on he's a gambler in the way that he played, right? And he was one of my favorite corners growing up. So it's like, I think with the T-step of knowing if you can pinpoint this formation, and he primarily played off, so his off coverage gotta be next level because he's always playing off. So his T-step and his feet were gonna have to be money because you're not constantly in the bump and run. But Prime, Prime, he in a class of his own, bro. So it's like I ain't even you know what I mean?
I want you to give me a time where you felt like you were really heroic for what you were doing for your community in Fairfield.
I'm back to leaving my high school, going to a JUCO, getting a scholarship, going to TCU, having 10 people from my high school go to the same JUCO that I went to, people in the area feeling that it's still a way that you can make it to the league outside of not getting a scholarship out of high school. So I thought I started that in my era where I grew up. And then along with getting to the league and doing all the things I did in the community, from the toy giveaways, the school coat drives, turkey giveaways. Like I done so many things back home, but I'm still in the process of doing that now. So I feel I'm still learning more and more and growing and evolving on how I can still continue to, run this race and be more inspirational, influential. Just with my story and what I've been through injury wise, I think I'm gonna be able to help a lot of people from a mental aspect on just, dealing with trauma and dealing with the doubt and things like that. So I got a lot of things, like I said, that's in the vault that I'm gonna have surface here soon to where, it's gonna be an ongoing thing of what I'm building.
Bro, I appreciate you taking the time. This is another edition of Keshawn's Hometown Heroes. We'll see y'all next week. Have a good one.